Welcome to The Magic of Coffee with Alex and Jordan. We're a podcast about all things nerd culture. This week, we are talking about what we did during our break and our plans for this upcoming season. Let's get into it.
The room
just at the desk. Just at the desk.
I think
it's just literally just the desk. Just right here.
Are we keeping this?
We can keep this. I don't care.
What's up, dude?
What up? Welcome back.
I'm sure for those that are regular listeners, this is a new setup.
Yeah. Yeah. I moved twice.
I moved once.
You moved once?
We're in the same house again,
and they were roommates.
She was a skater boy.
He was a player boy.
Anyways.
Yeah, we're back. There was the summer was pretty hectic for us. We did the camping videos, and that was kind of the last thing we did podcast related. Those came out in July, and work hit the fan for me, and then you were also pretty busy with work.
Yeah, and then a lot of life stuff on both ends, I feel like, on top of moving.
Yeah, and then I moved out of my apartment, and then 2 months later we moved into here. But yeah.
I've been summer's just been so brutal. So like my my climbing stuff hasn't really popped off yet. I did do some soloing, and some climbing. I guess this is one and the same. I did some trad climbing, and then I did some soloing on the last trip because there was like a random cold pocket in the mountains. So I was just like, we gotta go. So we went. It was cool. It was like more for practice for the big projects coming up. And then this weekend I'm going to the mountains again. I don't know where, because we have 3 different ideas that we're gonna go to, and I think the first one's gonna be a small little thing that I'm probably not even gonna post anything. It's just gonna be for practicing. And then whenever your schedule gets less hectic, you're gonna come with me. Oh, that's another thing that happened too. You got a climbing itch lately.
Yeah, I'm climbing more often, and just all around trying to be healthier. At the beginning of the year, as things happen in my personal life, I kind of put that on the back burner, and just kind of ate whatever I wanted to. So I'm trying to live a healthier lifestyle and be more active, and that includes climbing with you, and then just in general, just trying to be healthier, eat better, be more active.
You're progressing pretty, for the amount of climbing that you have done. You're progressing pretty well.
Yeah, I think like it's a mixture of just like, getting into getting physically healthier, if that's getting stronger again or losing weight, because there's that one photo we have of me on the wall. It's just half the shirt's up, belly's out, just struggling. But yeah, I want to like get into a thinner, healthier, and be better at climbing. But a lot of that, getting better at climbing, is being the climber's physique, which is leaner. So
yeah, I mean, I've come to learn that like with proper training and like, yeah, you have to lose a little bit of weight, but I'm at a weight now where sure I could lose more weight, but at the cost of potentially being unhappy. There's a big thing going on right now about the diets and the eating disorders and things like that of climbers. Like there's I was talking with some of my Boulder friends, and there was like Suicide Awareness Month. I don't remember when it was, but we were talking about it, and they like brought up like there's been just eating disorders and things like that, and people like just committing suicide because you have to the whole thing about like climbing, especially in the competitive world, is you have to be as light as possible and as strong as possible. And someone brought up like, are we going to have another generation of skeletons in the climbing industry? And so that's why I'm like, I think with proper training and proper dieting, you don't have to get super thin and super like lean, but you'll be able to climb at a place where you can push yourself for harder grades.
As I've been cooking, it's finding high protein, low calorie meals that I do enjoy eating, and also that taste good. I guess that's enjoy eating, but a lot of like low calorie, high protein recipes are just like gross.
Yeah.
Or it's stuff that I don't enjoy eating. And so it's been an interesting balance of like finding that stuff. Like I did that tortellini recipe, which isn't super low calorie, but it's good protein. And it's easing my way into that lifestyle and like not hating it, because that's a big issue with modern health mentality, is you just hyperfixate for like 2 or 3 months on dieting, and then you just like pivot back so hard because it's not a sustainable lifestyle to pivot so hard into just crappy high protein food that just doesn't taste good. And so figuring out that balance of like, hey, this isn't super low calorie, but it's not 600 calories, for the entire thing. It's, each serving is 400 calories or whatever, 60 grams of protein, but it tastes good, and you're going to enjoy eating it, and especially if you're meal prepping, because for the longest time, it was like chicken and rice.
That's what and
that gets boring.
I was eating broccoli, tofu, and rice, and I meal prepped that for like 2 weeks. And I ate that. So this is a while back, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I feel fine, but I'm also like, I want to eat more even though I'm full, because it's unsatisfying. Mm-hmm. Versus I had this pasta stuff that I've been making a lot lately, and I'm going to start branching out soon. But that's really good, and it's super high in protein. It has a little bit of a kick. And it's nice, it's flavorful, and it's high in protein and lower calories. And and that made it like, I can do this. It's a little bit more expensive, but I can actually, like, I want to make this stuff, because I know while I'm eating it, I have a bunch of protein, especially if I work out that day. I'm like, cool, I'm actually going to, instead of just drinking protein shakes all the time, because what I was doing before I started figuring out the whole meal stuff is I was just doing 3 protein shakes after a climbing session, because I had to intake so much protein, and it was fine. But like eventually you start getting sick of protein shakes, because you're just like, dude, I just want to eat fucking mac and cheese. Versus now I've found a recipe that's high protein, low calorie mac and cheese, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, I stumble upon that. Yeah, there's this next week. Like I talked about, I think it was last night or a couple days ago, I was like, want to try, it's not meal prep, but it's just food. It was stuffed bell peppers with turkey, but we could sub it out with Beyond Meat and, or like a vegan ground beef and Beyond Meat or Impossible, whatever. And then eat that instead, like here, doing that dinner. And it's good. There's lots of veggies, and there's no onions or mushrooms, which I hate both. And then
really?
I
hate mushrooms, onions. So I feel you there. I cannot do mushrooms.
Yeah, I can't do either one of them. I've been trying to get into the onions, because they do add a good flavor to a lot of things, but it's just like raw onions squeak on my teeth, and cooked onions, caramelized onions, pickled onions are just slimy and they're gross and they don't belong in food. So
fair enough. Speaking of like dieting and then training and things like that, I'm not sure. I'm coordinating with your brother, but whenever, because like the climbing gyms that we want to get to are a bit far, and sometimes we don't have time. Or like, for example, like if you wanted to. If I'm going to the mountains and you can't, and you're too busy, then it's like, okay, that's inconvenient as well. So I'm getting a crack wall. I have hangboards and then a spray wall. And so we'll have, and that's another update of our lives, is we're going to be able to train at home. I would like to do it. I'm probably going to try to do it pretty often during the weeks. The summers are going to be a challenge, but I'd rather, it be hot as shit. And then we just get like at least 20 minutes in, even because it's going to be under shade anyways. But yeah. So it's going to be much more convenient for us to train. And we have a baseline for our training regimen or a workout regimen. We've been going on walks. That's interesting. Huh? Yeah. And we're like naturally branching, like making it longer. Cause like we did it twice already. And the first one was just like kind of around the block, maybe a little bit more. And then the second one, it was just like, we just kept walking. It was nice. But yeah.
Yeah, I think getting up in the mornings, because despite my work schedule, I always try to get up around 9 or 10. It hasn't always been that way, but because we tough sometimes. But yeah, going on a walk, especially before it gets hot, I think is good. Wakes the body up, gets the blood flowing, and I like that. It's just fresh air. You're outside a little bit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But
yeah, look at us trying to just get our health on track, and that's pretty much been a big part of, aside from the moving, that's been a lot of what we've been doing. I've been climbing, but I mean, I've always been climbing, so that doesn't really matter. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that happened in between the seasons that we'll have to do episodes on. For instance, Barbenheimer, whatever the fuck it's called.
Barbenheimer.
Yeah, we have to do stuff like that. There's a couple other movies that were pretty major that we need to do. But other than that, what I'm thinking is moving forward, like what we're thinking moving forward is just any upcoming things. Obviously, any suggestions from people, you can just contact us on social media or email. And that's what we're going to do. And hopefully within that, because this climbing season started, we should have vlogs up with the podcast and things like that. And then probably episodes while we're camping, because maybe less drunk.
Yeah, I guess we never talked about that camping trip, because it was just we put the videos out and never did an official podcast for it. But we went through 3 24 packs of White Claws in 2.5 days.
We went through 3 12 packs.
3 12 packs.
Well, we went through 2. We went through. I think
4. We bought a 24 pack that first when we stopped at Walmart. We bought a big pack. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I don't remember.
We went through about 24 cans that first night. I know that for sure. And then we had to have help getting more.
Yeah. We could have gone and gotten it, but we already had someone that was going to come and hang out. So we were like, hey, can you just bring us a little goop and gop?
Yeah, and then, that third day, at the end of the vlog video, you get that little snippet in the car of us just worn out. But yeah, we woke up that Sunday morning. We had plans to do stuff. We were there was a wall you wanted to attempt to climb, and we wanted, I think, to do a little bit more hiking. But you had that big cut on your foot. I had that huge blister that was forming, and it was just nope.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know about you, because I don't think we've ever talked about this, but if we did the exact same thing, but it was 37 degrees, I'd be like, cool. You give the hiker now. Because
part of it was that second day just being so brutally hot all day.
So hot. And not to damper the podcast, but the reason we weren't just sitting in the water is because we couldn't find another shore. We weren't really looking all that hard either. But where we were swimming, there was a rancid smell because there were so many waves that a turtle got stuck in the roots and died.
Yeah.
And it just smelled so bad. It was such a bummer too.
Yeah.
Because it was just just in the roots. It was so sad.
It's yeah, I'm not laughing because I thought it was funny. I'm laughing because it was awful, and it totally ruined our little shoreline area that we had. And then, yeah, to piggyback off of that, in the vlog video, there's about a 10-second clip of me pissing. And my shorts are the same color as my back, and it looks like I'm just standing on a rock, butt-ass naked. And everybody that's watched it, that's come up and talked to me about it, it's like, what? And I'm like, no. I wasn't. That was, no. I had shorts on. And then everybody's like, you have a back tattoo? I'm like, yeah, I do. Sorry.
Dude, everyone's trying to get a little piece of Jordan.
I guess so. This blonde hair, you know?
There was that second day, there was like a good 2 hours where you and I didn't say anything to each other.
It was
too hot.
So hot. And that was before the White Claws showed back up. It was so hot, and it was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was the worst. And it wasn't because we were mad at each other or anything. It was just so brutally hot that it was just like...
It almost was like tiring to talk.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of just knew, and we were like, I can't fucking talk to you right now because it's just too hot. We were hemorrhaging through water. Like, eating sucks because it was just too hot, you know? It was brutal. That's why I do not like the summers. Like, what I would like to do is, like, this is going to take extensive planning, but if we do want to camp in the summers, we go more north.
Yeah, I agree. Is if we camp in the summer, it's like Colorado, anything like upper Midwest, where it's actually kind of cool.
Or we get, like...
go to California.
Yeah, we could go to California. But if we were to, like, hey, we can't really... I don't want to camp super far away, then we just get a cabin. Like, we do the outdoorsy stuff, but then when we're too fucking hot, we go in to the cabin. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, that's not really camping. But it's like, well, come to Texas.
Yeah, go camping in the summer in Texas.
I'm honestly I'm surprised that I actually agreed to do that, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I enjoyed the trip. I think it was a lot of fun. It was just like...
it's not regrettable at all. It was the
wrong time to do it.
Yeah. If I were to... Would I do it again? Yes, but we would discuss, like, cabins. So...
We would do it a little differently.
Yeah.
Well, because we were going to go to Austin on the river. The planning on that trip took months. Like, genuinely, there were like several different ideas that we had. We landed on Possum Kingdom, but because the areas we wanted to go were either sold out or like way too expensive. Yeah. Because they've turned that river that runs through Austin into like glam camping.
Oh yeah,
for sure. And so they were like $200 a night or something like that. I was just like, that's not feasible for us at the moment. Which would have probably been better. There's a lot more shade, a lot more trees, instead of where we were. And thankfully, the people who reserved the spot next to us where we were at in Possum Kingdom never showed up, and they had a pavilion and we didn't, so we just took over that pavilion.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, because then it started fucking storming.
Yeah, we got that rain that cooled it off. That was nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, if you haven't seen that video or either of those videos, just watch it. They're funny. Just drunk doing a podcast, and then just the vlogging. I thought it was very entertaining. But yeah, so we want to do more stuff like that. I'm going to be filming a lot anyways, so you coming along, I'll just pivot from like, I'll have like the solo stuff, and then I'll just do podcast stuff as well. So, but yeah, so that's we want to start planning for that. Any upcoming stuff that that's coming out, well, we're going to do episodes on. I mean, as always, if you suggest something, we'll probably do an episode on it. We talked about this a little bit. We are going to veer from movies and do other various different things because we don't consider ourselves a movie podcast, but it's just, we watch so many movies because of the amount of nerdy shit that's come out that it just makes sense to do it.
Yeah, so like the episode we're recording after this is Ahsoka. That season finale came out yesterday. So we're gonna record that. We're gonna record probably a Loki thing because that's starting on Friday, either Thursday or Friday, and then we have plans. The break was also us like figuring out what we wanted to do for the podcast and start expanding the scope away from just movies. There's like Spider-Man 2, the game coming out, that I probably want to do an episode on that. Just start encompassing just kind of everything that we do day to day. Because I think it's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, and we do enough nerdy shit that like we might as well. So as always, if anyone has any suggestions, whether it practically anything that is in the realm of being a nerd, we're kind of down. And if people like, there's like, we play a lot of video games together. But if people don't necessarily want that, then we're not going to post about it. But if enough people are like, hey, that'd be kind of funny, because our banter is really, I think it's very funny. In a video game format, that would be fun, but I don't feel like it's worth doing unless people actually want to see it.
Yeah, I have a couple ideas. It's Halloween, and for the sake of the podcast, there might be a couple games that we might throw some videos up on that terrified me. So, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But you should find one, and I'll find one, and then we'll play each other's games.
Well, we could play one game together called Phasmophobia I hate playing.
I'm down.
That I think would make really funny content. Because I will.
Yeah, I'm super down. That game terrifies me. So yeah, let's do it.
I hate that game. Yeah, but if there's anything, video game stuff. I think. Well, the stuff we play, I wouldn't hate recording a couple games of and throwing up. At the moment, we've been playing a lot of Fortnite. We could record some of that.
Yeah, and we're good at it, but it's also like, if people don't really give a shit about watching us play Fortnite, who cares?
Yeah, everybody plays Fortnite now, but I think the banter of it. Podcast, the name in the podcast is Coffee. So if there's any coffees, I think we probably will start ramping that back up, especially because we live together.
Yeah.
And we're recording in the same space. But we'll probably start ramping that back up and figuring out a review style that works. That isn't like a 2-minute
segment.
Yeah. That's just like, it says it's nutty. I don't taste the nut.
Yeah, I'm super down.
But yeah.
But yeah, that's what we got so far. I mean, it's we're pretty much doing one and the same. It's just we're constantly growing. We've been doing this for a while. We've been playing Commander, Magic the Gathering again. I'm not going to make this a Magic podcast anymore, but at the same time, it's like if someone's down to have an episode on that, we can do shit like that.
It's really fun going back and watching the first few episodes we've thrown up.
Yeah.
And just like how much we've grown as a production, and just seeing all that we've we've come.
Yeah, the amount of cutting we used to have to do because we just didn't know what we were doing, and the sound quality was terrible back then. Dude, our logo, the first one that we did, that I made, it was so cringe.
We have a really good logo now.
Another thing that I want to put on this episode, that if people are down, and if you don't want to talk about this, we can cut it out. we've been talking about merch for a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
If people are down for that, we can start looking into it. I mean, we're gonna get merch for ourselves anyways, but if people are like interested in it, then we can start looking at making a line of things.
Yeah, I would see. Yeah, I mean, if there's an interest there, shirts and potentially dad hats.
Yeah,
it would probably be to order just because of making a shit ton of shirts is expensive.
Yeah, I looked into the math of it, and then I remember when I was trying to make shirts for my music stuff. So I have an idea, and we'll discuss that portion later if we start having to make merch. But yeah, if people are interested, I would like to see it in the comments. But also, what you would want. Would it be shirts? Would it be beanies? I mean, I wouldn't mind mugs because we're super big into coffee. Stickers, blah, 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 blah. Like, what would be the number one thing that you would want? And then we can go from there. Dude, let's make a chalk bag. I don't know how to do that. Or even like magic sleeves. We were kind of looking at that. But yeah, I mean, from here, that's really all I have. At least things that we can talk about, because you and I have a couple things that are in the woodworks.
Yeah, there's the behind the scenes. There's always behind the scenes stuff. It's insane. Behind the scenes stuff that just like we've planned we wanted to do, and then it's just like, oh, that never happened.
Yeah.
So I understand from like, YouTubers and like big YouTubers and things like that. They're always like, oh, I have stuff planned, but I can't talk about it right now. Because it's insane just like how quickly just weird stuff falls through.
Yeah. Or like things get so delayed. So like if you say something, like it's like false promises, or like, there's like certain production sides of this podcast that like I never bring up with anyone because it's like, yeah.
No, for real. It's insane. Just like, from a, like, yeah, like you said, our production side, just like weird stuff that you just don't think about that just like gets so, just left behind.
Yeah.
There's several videos we have that just never got posted.
Yeah, I mean,
and like the snack video we did back in the day, just like what went into that and getting it up and running and published. So
if people want to see that, if you're down to post it, if people want it, if you want the snack video, and we
have the snack video up. It's just,
is it up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, if people want more of it, I'm down. I just can't eat meat. If I get 10,000 likes on this video, I'm going to eat meat and then die. But yeah, I think from here, that's all I really have. More will come, on my end with the season coming up and like the climbing stuff. And then I have a few like things that I want to do as far as like weird stuff for episodes. I'm sure you do too, but other than that, as of right now, I'm just happy that the season started, and more will come. But this is all I really have.
Yeah, we're back in black, and here we're in blue. Yeah, we're back, and I'm excited to get this ball rolling again.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, thanks for listening. Please follow us on social media. We have The Magic of Coffee on Instagram. If you, this is why you do it. I'm never good at these.
Yeah, follow us on social media. Instagram is The Magic of Coffee. YouTube is YouTube at The Magic of Coffee. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening to us. Share with your friends. We are on all podcast platforms, and yeah, that's all I got.
How did we used to sign off?
Bye-bye.
Nope.
And you're like, stop!
Oh, enjoy your mornings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Enjoy your...
that was a good one.